All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course, where unfortunately it's doing that thing. And then, pause and unpause and then pause again. We have to do that. We're paused. Oh my god, we're all gonna die. So we're gonna be talking about all sorts of stuff. Occult Priestess is here. Thank you very much. I would like to talk to you later, by the way. Musically Assured Destruction. Thoughts on the sniper tourism story? Google it. I will Google that for your edification. Sniper tourism. Oh, you mean in Sarajevo? Or is this something new? Oh, goodness. Oh, Serbian president denies involvement in alleged, that's an interesting story, Bosnia sniper tourism. It follows a complaint submitted to the Italian prosecutors by Croatian journalists who claimed that the video from the 1990s and subsequent testimony by Bosnian officials showed that Vucic was a war volunteer with Bosnian Serb forces at positions overlooking Sarajevo. I'll probably have to look into that more. I'll docket that and look more into it. That wasn't part of today's news docket. Today's news docket is definitely way too large for me to even cover. I don't even know if I'll get to all the mains, honestly. That's interesting. Yeah, we do have to talk about J.D. Vance. He has made a statement with regards to housing prices, among other things. And he and Trump are griping about the GOP. Under normal circumstances, I would say this is unhelpful. But given the current state of the GOP in the House with Mike Johnson and so forth, I agree with them. I have to be Team MAGA on this one because the Republicans in the House and the Senate, they're really not doing their job. Yeah. James Comey, Letitia James indictments dismissed after multiple scandals, none of which are legally actionable, but as we've learned, courts basically act with impunity at this point. They don't need any case law. They don't need a precedent. They don't need anything. They can just down a case, for no reason at all. And there's literally nothing that can be done about it. Not until you bring it before the Supreme Court, which is amenable to at least, some solemnity, some degree of decorum. But the federal court system has been weaponized, absolutely. It's quite clear at this point. Elon Musk exposes real foreign racists with base new X feature. I agree with this feature. I'd point out if you query my account, I am based in the United States. I am who I say that I am. If I were in the Netherlands, I would tell everyone, hey, I'm in the Netherlands right now. From the US, I'll say, I'm in the US right now, specifically, at the moment, the state of Vermont, and so on and so forth. But it seems that a lot of people are being a little bit disingenuous about it. I would notice that they're focusing on accounts that promote, like, the MAGA thing, and more racism, and it's the same, think of the children bullshit. But the same applies to liberal accounts. We will get into that a little bit more because some of those people that are posting and getting paid to post in some cases, they're not even based in the United States. And you have the whole VPN problem. It gets a little bit complex. It's a lot less simplistic than a lot of people are casting it off as being. GOP, use MAHA or lose it. This is from the MAHA report, by the way, so it might be a little bit biased. That being said, I do support the basic premise. RFK Jr. is doing a spectacular job. Trump is doing a good job. He's listening to RFK Jr. I think he's distinguished himself as one of the best members of the cabinet, actually. So, congratulations to them. I did not expect RFK Jr. or Rubio to be as effective as they have been. And others have fallen short. Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, stuff like that. So I'll be talking about that. And then Greta Thunberg went to Venice with Extinction Rebellion, dumped a bunch of green tracer dye into the canals there. She got fined, a pittance basically. Because it's petulant crime by a young woman, so nobody really cares. I'm just thinking, the next time that she does something like this, can we just dunk her in the river? Will we swimming the witch, I suppose, or something like that. Hugely exciting ring found in English countryside may have link to infamous plot. Heads to auction. I did talk about this morning, but I wanted to talk about it again because of where it was found specifically. So we'll get into that too. And I might get to the rest of this news, but there's like a dozen of them, so I'm definitely not going to get to them all. Just saying. Yeah, sometimes you have a problem where you have too much news. Other times you have a problem where you have no news at all, really. You have to scrape the bottom of the barrel and it's like, oh, here's this wonderful article about apple harvesting in Minnesota or something like that. It is a real problem, trust me, especially when you're self-branded, if you are a content creator, and particularly through politics and, news events and stuff like that. CP Simple. I found someone talking about replacing Bondi with Sidney Powell. Yeah, you could trade up from Bondi quite easily. It wouldn't be difficult. I think pretty much half of the people that are in chat probably could do a better job than Bondi. So that's not necessarily a surprise. Arc 5. It's okay, Sticks. You can always resort to food talk when you don't have something to talk about. Yeah, the thing is, I like to get to the news, and then I like to have a little bit of a while to bant. All I want to do is, talk about other stuff. I don't want to talk about just politics all day, We'll get to the main news story here, and then we'll get to the sponsors, and then we'll get to the rest of the news as well. This is from JD Vance. This is a post that he made actually on X, or Twitter. After 4 years of house prices doubling, and in some areas tripling, many young people feel priced out of the American dream of home ownership. No shit, Sherlock. A welfare fraud scandal in Minnesota, that I reported on several days ago, reveals that large numbers of new arrivals aren't assimilating and are funneling our tax dollars to literal terrorist groups. Al-Shabaab, I believe, is the main one. Boko Haram is actually implicated at certain points. They're even worse. God, I'd rather hang around with Al-Shabaab than with Boko Haram. An innocent woman was set on fire in Chicago as the mayor resists federal law enforcement resources to bring in peace to one of our great cities. I don't know if I'd call it great, but he's being generous. The Obamacare insurance system is buckling under its own weight, and the country is $38 trillion in debt. Haha! Our administration is working hard on addressing all of these problems. Unfortunately, the House is not really facilitating them addressing the problem, so it's definitely an uphill battle. But you know what really fires up the Beltway GOP? Not any of the above. Instead, the political class is really angry that the Trump administration may finally bring a 4-year conflict in Eastern Europe to a close. I'm not even talking about the substance of their views. Much of what these people have said about the Ukraine war has been proven wrong, but whatever, we can agree to disagree. But the level of passion over this one issue when your own country has serious problems is bonkers. It disgusts me. Show some passion for your own country. There in black and white. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's exactly the concept. If charity starts at home, if the United States is weak, if we are debilitated in some way, we're not capable of helping our allies. Or at least we're less capable of, helping our allies. What happens? If some other country comes under pressure, what are we supposed to do? If we don't have a diplomatic forte, and we don't have the military capability, and we don't have the goddamn money, and people in the country are already suffering, and supposedly we're supposed to prioritize them, how the hell are we going to get to our allies? It's impossible for us to do. It used to be sort of the can-do, faux British attitude, so to speak, within the United States. The understanding was we're going to help ourselves first, and then if we're well off, wealthy, everything's going fine, then if you're in trouble, we can pile in. You know, we can destroy anything in our path because we're fucking Americans. But if we're not doing that, if there's discontent in our own homeland, if our border is overrun, if our economy is in shambles, it's relatively more difficult to actually give meaningful help to anyone at all. The fact that we've given so much help to Ukraine already is almost preposterous, given the current economic situation at home. It's not that you have any problem with people from Ukraine. I certainly don't. Ukrainian women are hot as fuck, by the way. There's nothing wrong with Ukraine, although the government is corrupt. Helping them is fine, but you gotta help yourself first. Yeah, that's sort of the way that it works. Tarl Fox says FB. Yes, indeed. Yes, Guy Fawkes was from Warwickshire, actually. This does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form, and it shouldn't surprise you either. I see Holden Sneedmeyer's there. Won't be a peace deal. Version of the deal Zell is supporting is the proposal the Euros and neocons pushed after throwing a hissy fit to what Witkoff worked out with the Russians. Who will say no? Yeah, I mean, as long as it leads to a cessation of direct hostility, take what you can get. You know, that's the goal of a leader should be, hey, I don't want my people to be shot or bombed or something like that. If a leader is not acting in that manner, they're standing on ego and or civic principle, or they just don't give a shit. My dad is an anti-Russian. He's fully pro-Ukraine. I've debated him several times on the topic. I'm like, yeah, who gives a shit who runs that chunk of land? Will it be corrupt dictator number 1 or corrupt dictator number 2? I don't really care. I doubt many of the residents would care. By the way, grab some more tea. Spike. We need to replace a lot of the House GOP, exactly, and especially the Senate GOP. They are refusing to vote in Trump's agenda. They're basically cops during a mass shooting, waiting and doing nothing. Oh, the House GOP is way worse. Mike Johnson has been a big letdown. He's the worst letdown since Boehner, at the very least. I think I got a vibration. Let me check what this is. Yeah, Boehner, you remember him? You remember when he wept openly on multiple occasions? He's like, they won't vote for my bill! And tears running down his face and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, lay off the bottle for a moment, you know? It might do you some good. Your liver will thank you. Then after he left Congress, he immediately got into pot farming, so he's also a hypocrite. Oh, okay. Yeah. Musically assured destruction. Establish a DMZ along the Donbass? It looks like that's actually kind of sort of part of the plan, actually. FB, probably because your dad was fighting communism in Nam. Yes, my dad was in Vietnam. He was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, so he's a tough cookie. Very good father. Very doting on me, although sometimes he would flip out when I did something particularly wrong. Like that time that I exploded the light bulb by squirting it with a squirt gun. He wasn't too happy about that. I learned several new swear words that day. But, very good father overall. He put up with my shit. If you can put up with my shit, then you should probably get a service award or something. Let's get to our sponsors before we continue with the news, because again, I'm not going to be able to get to all the news. There's just too many stories. I'm going to have to carry some over. Some of them will be deleted and shit like that. Because there's like 20 of them up there, actually. Well, I can't get to that many. So let's get to our sponsors first and foremost, shall we say? We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills, I take at least one of them, and usually two, every single day. By the way, to Cultivated Mind, I could use a few more of these, especially the Immune Renew. I ended up sending some of them as a gift to a friend, so I'm running low. My supply is limited. How sad. It increases vitality. It definitely increases vigor in the general sense. You will be more energetic when you take these, trust me. When I wake up in the morning, you're like a zombie. You're approaching 40 and you feel tired and stuff. Take a couple of these. See what happens. Then, because your doggo might be getting old, you've got Doggy Dose as well from the same site. I call it Doggo Dose because it's cuter. Then we have BuiltOnUSA.com. Anton can sell you meat. You've got Wagyu, you've got Angus, you've got venison, you've got bison. Pretty much everything under the sun. He can also give you Bovrite. Anytime he's mentioned, I will eat some Bovrite. And it is... Oh. Well, close. And it is delicious. Vegemite's good on toast, too. Marmite is my least favorite of the three, but it's still good. Also, Sticks, Hex, and Hammer, mugs, tumblers, and shirts are available. He's got all sorts of crazy imports. Teas and all sorts of crazy stuff. So, take a look at his site. I'm sure that you'll find something that is to your liking. And finally, we got jamandbean.com. That is JAMN bean.com. It just smells good. You can get caffeinated just by sniffing it, probably. And if not, at least it smells good. Yes, we've got Clanker Blend. Also, many teas and other coffees are available. There's the Costa Rica Blend, which I think is my second favorite out of the coffees. I'm partial to the Clanker Blend. I taste tested it and determined the blend myself. It's really smooth. It's a good medium roast. Costa Rica Blend is a little bit lighter, I would say. But it doesn't really matter. You're still getting coffee and or tea, so you should probably just run the field. Oh yes, I saw that story. Owl of Palace. The Slender Man girl briefly escaped from the home she was staying and cut off her ankle bracelet before being caught again. Your thoughts on that? She was like 12 when she was, put in custody. This was a child. She was tried as an adult. I do not believe that the ramifications of that should go throughout her entire life. She's not crazy. She simply wants to be able to, go and date and, be a normal teenager and stuff like that. I don't believe in punishing her further. I believe that at this point it's unconstitutional. A child made a desperate mistake out of mental illness, was treated, was released. Okay, so the state is effectively saying when you release them, okay, you've been fully treated, you're fine to be out in society. I don't even believe in having adults generally in like a halfway house or something like that. Of course she's nuts. But then again, so am I. I've never hurt anyone. Copium Poppy Sticks, you should get a dog and hire him as your co-host and pay him in doggo doses instead of using a shot collar to convince him to stay. Yeah, you saw that thing with that one, what was it? Wasn't it Hassan Piker that was like shocking his dog with a shock collar and shit? That's animal abuse. I think he should be in jail, actually. I think they should take him out of society. They can give him the same room that the Slenderman girl was in. Steve Meyer. If Trump is still listening to Keith Kellogg, who has always pushed the conflict-freeze DMZ idea, then he is a fool. Ukraos and their backers always use the time to rearm, non-starter for Russia. Ark. Fingertip of Bovrite gives you hiccups every time. Yeah, I've noticed, actually. It must be... I don't know exactly what happens, but I eat Bovrite and I do tend to hiccup a few times. Yeah, Albertino Snake. You are insane, Sticks. You are weird. Hell yeah, and I'm gonna stay weird. And insane. I'm not interested in being normal. It's a trap. It's a trap. Being normal is being boring. No, thank you. I think that I'll take a third route. I'm not interested in being boring. Let's get to the rest of the news stories. And we make sexual references and stuff like that, like we always do. James Comey and Letitia James indictments dismissed after multiple scandals, none of which were legally meaningful, but they were prescribed as being so. The attorney handling the cases was not lawfully appointed, the judge ruled. Yeah, there is a dispute right now over Halligan, over whether the attorney that was actually actioning these cases was even lawfully part of the cases. The cases, therefore, were dismissed. They should revive them, put Halligan back on the case, make it clear this person is legally allowed to prosecute these cases, or they should get somebody who Halligan actually self-appoints. This is ridiculous. This is complete lawfare. This is the most egregious, I think, probably since the Letitia James case against Donald Trump, where she reevaluated arbitrarily the value of the Mar-a-Lago. It's not actually worth hundreds of millions, it's only worth like 20 million. Yeah, there's a next door property that's 1/10 the size that's valuated at 75 million, but the Mar-a-Lago totally isn't worth that much despite sprawling across 23 acres of land. This was the most ridiculous legal case that has probably ever been incepted, at least, in relation to a president in U.S. history. And it shows you how the justice system is unjust. 23 acres, over 200 bedrooms, prime location, next door property, which is way, way smaller, is worth 75 million. But this property, trust me, is only worth about 23 million. Bullshit. Absolute goddamn horseshit. Everyone knows that Letitia James is full of shit. And with Comey, of course, with the Russiagate stuff, everyone knows he's full of shit too. And we can prove it. So, because the judge was adversarial to the case, instead of going with the actual facts, because the facts speak for themselves, you have to go with procedural grounds. If you want to down a case, let's say you're a judge, an attorney or something, what you do is you try to create a situation in which some procedural, and the legal system is so vast that it's very easy to find them, you find some procedural grounds on which to take the case away and simply dismiss it, or to proceed with it, depending on whether you're prosecuting or not. This happens all of the time. So the procedural grounds, well, I don't believe this person is actually an attorney, so your case is dismissed. Well, Halligan is an attorney. I don't understand exactly what the judge is even basing this on, but we've seen this several other times before. Like with that gun control case, again, it was about 2 years ago, and I believe it was in Illinois. The judge issued a decision. They did not even cite any literature. No prior findings or literature of any kind was cited in the decision. It was an out-of-hand decision. It's basically like, hey, I'm the judge. I'm allowed to throw your case out anytime I want. I find in favor of the defendant or whatever. Go to hell. That's how the courts are unfortunately operating right now. There is absolutely no justice within the so-called justice system at this point. We should lose all faith in the courts. Last speaking, I'm of the idea of getting rid of Ukraine altogether because that is Obama's pet, and it will be the final twisting of the knife towards Obama's policies post-2012. Well, no Ukrainian ever fucked me over, so I don't have any problem with Ukrainians. I have a problem with the government there, just as I do with the Russian government. Although I do sometimes play as Russia when I'm playing, Victoria too. It's a difficult campaign, though, holding that country together. You almost don't wonder why they decided to embrace communism. It could be a little bit difficult. In Napoleon Total War, by the way, the Russians do crush ass because their cavalry gets a boost, so I'm just nerding out. Just saying. Last beacon, mainly because they wanted to use Ukraine as a means to get Edward Snowden out of Russia. I doubt that that's the fact. Russia is the aggressor, but the thing is, the people of that area already speak Russian, so who cares? They're either going to be under Putin or Zelensky. Well, they're both authoritarians. Nothing has changed other than maybe the language that's officially spoken within the region. So I don't know that there's a huge difference. Spike. Ironically, Jack Smith was never appointed by Congress. True, by the way. Another GOP failure to impeach these judges, especially those that release violent offenders back out. We need judicial accountability laws. The problem is you have to get the judiciary to accept those laws. They'll probably just say, you're not allowed to do that. Ah, King of Biltong is here. It's a salty Reese's cup. All good. We're not moving soon again. This has been a challenge, to say the least. I believe that you will prevail. Well, you can get products as good as yours. I don't think there will be any problem. And certainly Anton will always have the will of Clankdom behind him. You're also correct with regards to the Russian thing, Anton. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, because a few years ago, before the Russian invasion, everyone in the legacy media saying, oh, Zelensky is legendarily corrupt. The Ukrainian government is corrupt. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's constantly, doing the authoritarianism thing. Leaning on the Orthodox Church, suppressing free speech, suppressing the rights of women, and stuff like that. And human trafficking and all these other things. But then as soon as Russia invaded, because it was politically convenient, they said, no, Zelensky's a saint. They literally made candles with Zelensky's picture on them to burn in support for Ukraine. Like he's a literal saint. Not a figurative one, but a literal Orthodox/Catholic saint, which is papism and idolatry and actually a sin, but never mind. It was hysterical to see the switch. All of a sudden, Vladimir Putin, doing exactly the same thing Zelensky was doing, he was the villain. It's just a psyop. It's nothing more than geopolitics. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's a bunch of bullshit is what it is. Fucking horseshit. Yeah, I loved it when they made the Saint Zelensky candles. They were real, by the way. These are real. This was not just a Photoshop or something that was a meme on the internet. They actually had been selling them. They probably still do. I have no problem with the Ukrainian people. Actually, I was briefly involved with the Ukrainian woman. But at the same time, the government is so massively corrupt, it's like, why do you care whether it's Zelensky in Kiev or Putin and the Kremlin that's governing you? Because they're basically the same thing. Zelensky learned from his big brother, and so they act exactly the same. The hell is the difference, dude? We should be allying with the Russians. Can you imagine if the US and Russia ever allied? Well, I mean, I guess nobody's standing in our way because we can bomb them back to the Stone Age, so. I like Russians. I also like Ukrainians. I don't have a problem with anybody in the whole goddamn world, actually. People think I'm like a Nazi or something. No, I'm very, very cosmopolitan, especially with regards to food and pussy. Elon Musk exposes real foreign racists with based new X feature. I want to talk at length about this. On Twitter, you can now see where the person is connecting from, generally speaking. Where a person is connecting from. Sometimes there's a VPN involved, so don't always take it to the bank. Apparently, if there's a little shield next to their location, then it means they're using a VPN. But I'm not sure if Twitter can always tell if a VPN is being used. Probably depends on the VPN, so I wouldn't take that to the bank. Turns out, a lot of accounts on there that are pretending to be MAGA, but they're like, fuck the Jews and stuff like that. Those are actually from India and places like that. And a lot of the other political accounts from India, from, Bangladesh or something like that, or from South America somewhere, they're misattributed. They're misrepresenting where they're actually from. Some of these are not misrepresenting. They're simply using a VPN. So that's perfectly fine. In fact, I encourage as many people as possible to use VPNs because it's the right thing to do. You should get around censorship any way possible. Avoid your government. Government is evil, and so you should, befuddle them as much as possible, forcing them to drain their resources. Therefore, you have fought back against the man, at least to some small degree. That's great. But in some cases, you have accounts that are spreading. Technically, they're pro-MAGA, but they're actually just saying, I hate black people or something like that. It's an attempt to build derision, basically, infighting. There are also liberal accounts that are doing the same thing. I found it funny because that basically escaped the notice of the legacy media. Bunch of left-wing accounts that are pretending to be from the United States, turns out they're from Tajikistan or something like that. Hundreds and hundreds of examples. By the way, this is a big problem. And these people, keep in mind, this is something that most people haven't talked about. They're doing this on Twitter. Do you really think they're not doing the same thing on other sites? Pretending to be from some foreign country? I get spam every single day on Twitter DMs. For example, from supposedly hot females that want to ride my bones. It's all OnlyFans scam. It's never actually an actual person. It's some dude from Bangladesh who robbed somebody's OnlyFans page and then now spams that out endlessly. Happens all the time. So I like the new feature. I just think you got to keep in mind some of these people are just under VPN. So they're not actually from, Bangladesh. Coal Olds. In the early 90s, we were allied with the Russians. Yeah, I think we should do that again. Last Beacon. That's exactly why I don't want Zelensky to win. I want there to be a point where the metaphorical knife is twisted in the back of the Democrats. Yeah, here's the thing. Zelensky, under the current preliminary deal, would effectively have to give up a bunch of territory. And considering the fact that those people don't seem to want to be Ukrainian at all, I don't see the problem with that. Copium Poppies. I'm pissed about the VPN thing. X shouldn't be posting that info. We got unbanned and immediately found we were put on a harassment list calling into question whether we were American because we use VPN. Yeah, people put you on lists all the time. I don't even know how many lists I'm on because I never use the feature, so. I'm assuming I'm on the Nazi list, the right-wing retard list, the Satanist list, and the general retard list. I'm assuming that most of the time lists are used for malevolent purposes based on what I've seen. But yeah, if you're in a country that does not respect the right to free speech, you can use a VPN to access sites otherwise. Yeah, I'm probably on the Nazi list more than anything else. Here's a list of people that are Nazis. You should block them. Copium Poppies. I immediately block anyone who puts us on a list. Yeah, see, I never check it. I'm probably on dozens of them. Let me check right now. Let's have some fun, since the news day is slow, and also I have to do, like, a lot of eating later. Let's see, where do I even go to see? Here's my lists. Let's see. Your lists. I haven't created any because, I'm not interested in that. Are these lists that I'm on? Or lists that I can... When you follow a list, you'll be able to quickly keep up with the experts about what you care about most. I don't know if I've been added to these lists. No, those are suggested lists. What lists have I been added to? Can anyone tell me, where do I see what lists I've been added to? I guarantee it's a pile of bullshit. We're having fun right now. Coffee and Poppies. They make those lists for mass reporting raids. Makes it easier for them to get you banned. Yeah, well, they've been unsuccessful so far. Oh shit, Eric Clapton's trending. Hopefully he didn't die. Oh, no, it's because back in the 60s, they released their debut double album. Okay, good. I have a soft spot for Eric Clapton, even though he did show up George Harrison when George Harrison was high as balls and drunk to the ass, and they had a impromptu guitar session at one point. My Mexican ex-wife was a little bit obsessed with the Beatles, and so I know this story. Apparently, Harrison was there along with Clapton, and Clapton outshined him, and he was pissed. I think his girlfriend left him, actually, after that, if I remember correctly. Then he ended up marrying a Mexican. How emetic. Yeah, I'm Team Harrison over Team Clapton. But Eric Clapton is very talented. Tears in Heaven is a very good song. Just saying. Yeah, if somebody can tell me, I'd like to see, like, how the fuck do I get to the list? I mean, there's a list segment, but it doesn't tell you the ones that you've been added to. Oh, list your... Oh, okay, you have to... Alright, let's see. What lists am I on Twitter? Let's have some fun. Shitlords. Transphobe block list. 2025A. I don't know what that is. Right-wing politics. Okay. Favorites. Oh, thank you, Michael Armstrong. News. Best politics. NewsMed. News. Political creators. Retards. Yeah. I gladly take up that title, by the way. Nameless. I don't know what the fuck that has. FBI agents. I'm on a list called FBI agents? What? Yeah, quite the opposite, dude. I don't know. Right wing, main list, indies, thinkers and opinionators, clean. I don't know how clean I am, but professional whiners. Parasocial Delulu weirdos. I don't know what Delulu means. That probably indicates that the person who created the list was the weirdo. Based Chads. Thank you, Based Lemmy Enjoyer. Oh, by the way, Lemmy. Yeah, absolutely. Me and Razorfist agree on this motherfucker. We may not agree on pizza with pineapple on it, but yeah, Lemmy, he kicks ass. Your usual fucking morons. I'm having so much fun reading. I've never read the list that I was on. Holy shit, I'm on a bunch of them. Your usual fucking morons. Alt news. Hitler's cocksuckers. Yeah. Again, I'm a total Nazi. People of interest. I guess. A bunch of asterisks. I don't know. Asterisk. Sarcastic X, true. Yeah, I will take up that moniker. Op, I'm assuming that's a personal list or something. You're a pedo. Mid-sized accounts. I think that 180,000 is more than mid-sized, but whatever. That's fine. Favorites. Fucking morons. Politics. OG Anons. Yeah, indeed. I was on 4chan way, way back in the day. This is before Chanology. Political peeps. USA Valg 2024. I don't know what that has to do with politics. Trump's retarded cult. So I'm a pedophilic member of a satanic Trump cult, basically. Influencer, cock, free speech, YouTubers, Expol, très intéressant. News and current events, podcasts, Daily Stormer shortlist. Yes, Sieg Heil, I suppose. What is this? Noticias, The World, Muted Interests. I don't know what some of these even mean, so I'm just going through them. I apologize, but some of these are like, what the fuck mode. Often visited Omega list, ISM music news list. I don't know why I'd be on a music list, but okay. Maybe you liked something I sang? I have no clue. Randy Jackson's rape list. Oh, this I've got to see. What the fuck? What? It's a bunch of random right-wing stuff and... What? Okay, that's definitely an obsessive, fan or non-fan list, I guess. That's kind of creepy, actually. I'm on so many lists I can't even read them all. Just plain racist. Political YouTubers again. Groomers, creepy online losers, Russian bots and trolls. So I guess I'm a Russian pedophile posing as an American who has a lot of money, supposedly. I really wish that I did. And tries to convert people to Satanism. Oh my god. Holy shit. That was way funnier than I expected. I'm gonna have to go back there and see what all of the lists are that I'm on. What the fuck? Oh god. Copium poppies. They mainly use the... Oh yeah, the mass reporting. Yes, I understand that can be used for that purpose. I don't think that that's what it is, though. I think most people, they make a list, and then other people, like, mass ban them, like, from their channel. Because I've been banned by people that I've never interacted with on many occasions. So they just joined a list, and then they sort of, I guess they downloaded it or something like that, and then they just mass ban everyone from their channel. I don't care, because most of them are not worth listening to, because they're fucking retarded. They're a bunch of fucking whores, bitches, bastards. Last Beacon, what sort of VPN do you suggest that Clankdom should use? Anyone that works. I don't use a VPN myself. All I do is use uBlock Origin and AdBlock Plus, and it seems to work fine on the desktop. And I can't even log into my Google account on my phone, so I don't bother using a VPN there, because literally the only thing that I do there, I listen to music, or I do Twitter. That's all I do. King of Biltong! Our container filled with imports dropped. Check out Biltong USA. Great selection of imported candies, cookies, groceries, and, of course, Biltong. BiltongUSA.com. Code STICKS for 10% off Biltong. Since Anton was mentioned, we must have a little bit more of the bow frank. I need a little bit more than that. Jesus Christ. Pro tip. Combine Bovrite, this South African blim. Combine it with a small amount of the Chinese 5 spices. Thank me later. King of Biltong, I use Mozilla VPN. Yeah, I haven't used Mozilla since the early 2010s. It started getting worse after the Sopa Pipa era, and they stopped standing for privacy and partnered with Soros. So I started using Opera, actually. Brave is technically better, but it has issues with loading certain things. So I've sort of got a garden weasel it, I suppose. Spoony Samurai. Thick, cordy logs. Andy Six's logs of shit. They are creamy, steamy, and they're also dreamy. JA666, are you wearing a wire under your hat sticks? Not at the moment. Depends on who I'm meeting with. No, I would never sell out to the government. Fuck the government. Government's retarded. I don't care who's running it, by the way. It means nothing to me. I trust Trump, generally speaking, but, you know, he'll make mistakes too. GOP, use MAHA or lose it. I have high favorability towards the MAHA movement. The idea of not forcing people to get vaccinated against their will, well, that's definitely a winning proposition. And most of the public thought it was a bad idea. The Biden administration decided to go with it. The idea of homeopathic medicine, preventative medicine. You can prevent so many diseases, so many problems and ailments simply by having a healthy lifestyle. This used to be something that we taught in the fucking country. We used to teach it. Well, it was taught all over the world. The idea is, hey, you didn't get fucking retardedly fat, and you're not withering away, so you're of a healthy weight, you're getting your exercise, you're getting a good diet. Well, where's the problem? You know, ultimately, you've done about as best as you can to fortify your body against getting infected in the first place. The problem with active medicine as opposed to preventative medicine. Preventative medicine is try not to get sick in the first place. Active medicine after the fact, the ex post facto medicine, is you've gotten sick, so now we treat you. Sometimes it's symptomatically, sometimes it's, antibiotics or something like that. But if you can prevent it from happening in the first place, why wouldn't you want to? It's because the medical system wants you to be sick. They want you to be sick because it makes money. They don't want preventative medicine. My preventative medicine is I eat all sorts of crazy herbs and spices and stuff like that, and I figure eventually my body becomes too toxic for anything to survive in it. La Gran Colombia por siempre. Six, would you meet Trump if he wanted to meet you? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Copium Poppies. We got blocked by Jordan Peterson. Never even interacted with him. Yeah, it was probably something to do with the filter. I'm surprised at the number of lists that I'm on. It's very, very funny to me, though. So yeah, I'm a satanic pedophile that worships Trump. Also, for some reason, I'm a communist, I guess. And, other stuff. I don't even know what they're talking about, dude. It just goes to show you how retarded people usually are. By the way, tonight I will be eating some Thanksgiving yums. We're not waiting until actual Thanksgiving because of my mom's schedule, so tonight is Thanksgiving night for us. Copium Poppies. Been eating mostly V8 ham and Pop-Tarts for the past couple weeks. Nothing's getting through my immune system. V8 is definitely good for you. No, I swear by it. Those little cans that they have are very fun. Ties into the video that I made this morning about not wanting to grow up. I'll throw them around the room and laugh, and I'll be like, laughing my ass off uncontrollably and saying how they're grenades, and I'll be talking in a thick British accent to my imaginary friend Maximilian, who's sharing the trenches with me, which could be any inanimate object under the sun. I never really grew up. I'm not really interested in it. Because all you grown-ups out there, you seem fucking boring for the most part. Yeah, sometimes you say something funny or zany. For the most part, you're fucking boring. Don't get boring, dudes. I refuse to grow up. Have to grow old. Can't do anything about that. You can slow it down, but who gives a shit? But you don't have to grow up, so to speak. Ha ha ha! Lapidus. Peterson has brain damage from his pill abuse. Calls young white men who want to keep their own civilization troll demons while praising Israel. Complete hack. Vox Day predicted his downfall. Yeah, Peterson, while he has some good ideas, and he is an intellectual, I'll give him that, absolutely. The idea that he only eats steak every day, that's bullshit. That's not real. Follow him around with a body cam for 72 hours and see if he doesn't eat something other than his fucking steak. And some of his ideas are a little bit off the wall. Weenie Dog, Mexico is fucked. No, it's not. It's doing fine. It'll do even finer once we close the border so they don't get brain drain. This is a common, by the way, and many people have never heard of this. There's a debate within anthropology with regards to the subject. So you have a country that is, not quite fully developed. It's developing, or it's third world. It kind of depends. Mexico would be a developing country. It's mostly industrialized, but it's not quite there yet. When you have an open border and people are pouring into your country, who are the people that are coming? Some of them are the intellectuals. The problem is you're robbing the other country of people that are intellectual, that could add to that country. This is hotly debated within anthropology. I remember hearing about this from Professor Kroc, actually, from the anthropology department at UVM, anthropology of the Caribbean. There's an ongoing debate. Caribbean countries tend to be very small. So the number of people that are there that are qualified, intelligent enough to actually, engage in any form of upper academics tends to be relatively small. Because, the population of your island is 50,000 people. Maybe a couple of them are capable of actually passing through university courses at an upper level. And so the idea is that there's an interplay between wanting the intellectuals that are from there, because they're intelligent, they're going to add to the economy and stuff, and forcing them to retain there because you want their country to be improved by their efforts. But then you have another problem. Let's say you have a dozen people from some Caribbean island. They're PhD level, they're geniuses basically, and they're interested in science. They want to research, but they don't have anything to research with. They don't have a facility. They don't have any sort of support whatsoever from their own country, because usually the country can't actually support them at all. Then it falls to the United States to invest and to create a laboratory and things like that. Now, this is actually a really great idea, because then people based in the U.S. can go to the Caribbean. I wish I was there right now looking outside at the weather. And I like anthropology, and they can do research too. That's probably the best of all outcomes. It's like sort of outsourcing it. You invest a bit, but then you're bringing back knowledge. It sort of makes sense. Cole Olds, JP's daughter got ran through. No, Rambam, I said Caribbean island, not Ireland. My apologies for my thick Connecticut River accent. Copium Poppies, I hate those tiny cans, like the 12-ounce soda can V8. Yeah, but the little ones that are 8 ounces, they're more convenient for tossing across the room and rolling across the floor and pretending it's a grenade. I just do this for my own amusement. I figure, here's the way that I like to live life. I wake up in the morning, right? I make my videos. I take a brief relaxation. Maybe I have a snack, but usually not. Then I do what I'm doing now, which is my live stream. When the live stream is over, I will go and I will take a bit of a repast, and then I will begin writing or editing, something literarily related. After I docket the videos for tomorrow, although today I don't think that I need to do so because there are so many of them, I can't even get to them all. So then you docket your videos, you get everything lined up for the next day, you prepare. Today, of course, is also Turkey Day for our family, so yeah, that'll take a little bit of time. I'm going to be eating a little bit. I made the cranberry sauce for a reason, and I made it very, very well. It's the best one that I've ever made. You would love it if you like tart things. If you like it too sugary, then you probably wouldn't like it. But then, I mean, in the afternoon, I can do whatever I want, but typically I just work even more. I just write more. Like the other day, I got a couple of works done in morbid stories. But I like doing that. It's the thing. The best advice that I can give any person in this goddamn world, if you want to be happy in life, the best thing that you can do is to take some hobby that you like and turn it into your form of work. If you can accomplish this, I promise you, you will be far, far more successful and way, way more happy in life. And that'll bleed over into other advantages as well. Pedro, but he have no accent. I do have an accent. Like when I say accent, technically it's accent. I don't pronounce the T. I have a Connecticut River accent. I can do books on tape, if I wish to do so. However, I do have an accent, believe it or not. Lapidus. Styx's worldview is closer to Peterson's than mine, but Styx remains authentic and ruthlessly pursues his radical individualism, which I respect him for. Thank you very much for that, by the way. Yeah, individualism is how you do it. And then Copium Poppies, he keeps spamming about candy corn. The hell is wrong with you, dude? Snakes Bleed Red is shitposting about spoons. Concentrated Juice is spamming about butter knives. I don't even know what's going on over in the Rumble chat. At some point, I don't even have a clue. Yeah, I figure, what's the use of living life at all if you're not having fun? You have to be productive. You're gonna get old. You're gonna die. These are all givens. But in the meantime, can't you have fun? You know, are you supposed to be fucking boring and shit? It reminds me of Meisterburger from, what was it? It wasn't Year Without a Santa Claus. What's that fucking Christmas movie with Meisterburger? I can't remember the name of it. And he's like, it's the typical sort of, you know, form of the average adult. The dude is like, oh, I love yo-yos when I was young. Oh, I used to do all sorts of tricks, wee, and stuff like that. But then he's reminded, no, you have to be an adult. You have to be boring and dry and stuff like that. Ah, yes, with Kris Kringle. And then, you know, he gets irate. And in the end, he gets his own. It's because he decided to grow up. How would you want to? You think I don't want to be a fucking kid? Everyone always reminisces about their childhood and says, yeah, I wish I was a kid again. You can act like one. You don't have to act mature. Believe it or not, we can destroy the system. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yes, that was the one. Thoughts on the DOD announcement for the investigation into Mark Kelly? Fuck the DOD. Fuck the whole government. That's literally my opinion. Yes, Rankin and Bass. Hey, TW5LW. Yeah, Rankin and Bass did it best, generally speaking. Yeah, fuck Mark Kelly and also fuck the DOJ. If you think I'm gonna stand up for them, how ineffectual they are, you're gonna go out on a limb. Yes, I believe that Mark Kelly was directly involved with that. Just a second. Look this up. Also, the dude looks fucking insane. Have you seen his face, Mark Kelly? Senator. I mean, it's good that he's under investigation. Nothing will be done about it. Do you really think that the GOP is going to do anything? Seriously. I would put $1 million on the fucking table right now to say that nothing is going to happen in this case. The GOP is too ineffectual, number one, too reluctant, number two, and doesn't have the votes, number three. Nothing's going to happen to him. The defense secretary called the senator's remarks urging troops not to follow legal orders despicable, reckless, and false. The problem is there's plausible deniability there. The problem is that he said, well, you cannot follow lawless orders. That is fundamentally true. He's not telling a lie there. The insinuation is there, which is, hey, you shouldn't round up illegals because it's illegal, or which is hysterical. It's the ultimate misnomer. What these people basically said in their video is that it's illegal to round up illegals. Let that sink in for a moment. So it's completely reckless. It's retarded. But that doesn't mean that what they were saying was illegal when they said it. It's hilarious, but I mean, this is going to become a Christmas video probably. Yeah. Put the Christmas tree up behind you. Ho, 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 I'm Mark Kelly. I've got a message for you. That would be funny. I want to do something like that. I'm tired of doing just serious videos, and I kind of want to make some where I just like mouth off and stuff like that. Some people will enjoy them. Some people will fucking hate them and unsubscribe from the channel, but, you know, that's alright. Super Stitch. Cream of chicken soup made with heavy cream and cracked pepper in a sourdough bowl. Not a fan. Sorry, just not a fan. No, if you have like a bread bowl or something like that, make it with extra caraway and put a tomato basil in it. With extra basil, of course. That's what I'm talking about. CP Simple, but not Campbell's. Campbell's is alright. There's a reason they've been around for like, what, 100 fucking years or something. Cole Olds, I remember the Cuck Shed shorts. Yeah, I think I've still got the Cuck Shed video up, actually. It might still be there. Let me try to find it. The Swedish Cuck Shed video. That was hysterical. Do I still have it up? I mean, it may or may not be searchable. Yeah, there we go. Ministry of Sweden presents, in association with the Labour Party of Britain, partnered with the Association for Diversity, and sponsored by a kind donation from APAC. Ministry of Sweden presents Cucktainers and Cucksheds. Yeah, it's still there. I thought I had taken it down. Apparently I was wrong. Don't worry, I'll get you the link. Just a sec. Yeah, I made this years ago. Haha. Let's... Alright, I put it on both platforms. Occult Priestess, 3D printed chicken soup. Lol, Campbell's. Yeah, I mean, I cook my own soups mainly. I prefer Progresso if I have to get a canned soup. But, I mean, it's not bad. It's just, you know, it's sort of like when you get a food, it's like, hey, it's edible, it's filling. Okay, I don't have too much to complain about. That's the sort of food that Campbell's is. Progresso's like, okay, it's a little bit better. I like their lentil soup. My recipe is almost exactly the same as theirs, only with more spinach and a great deal of additional butter. Spike. I remember someone talking about the brain drain with gumballs. It's an easy to find video. It's why these countries never developed. Yes, see, that's the debate. The debate is over whether the fact that the highly skilled from third world countries tend to go to other countries, it's depriving those countries of actual, nourishment, intellectually speaking. They're not technically wrong, but you got to realize, if there's no facility there for them to actually work in, if there's no development by the government to try to give them a job so that, they've got a PhD or something, what are they supposed to do? Scrape through the sand all day or flip burgers? Well, they got a fucking PhD from a university in the West, and there's no colleges in most of these countries that are capable of providing them with that. They can provide them with the basic liberal arts education, but they can't really provide, they can't mint a medical PhD. So these countries go without physicians and stuff like that. It's not really fair to the countries. It's not really fair to the people either, because they have to go abroad in order to even study. It'd be better to set up schools in some of these places. That would be better. Copium Poppies. When are you getting a doggo co-host? We could super chat giving it treats. There will not be a dog in this particular household. This is a cat household. I happen to be fond of kitty beans. I like to squish their toe beans. Quincy really loves it, by the way. He loves foot massages and shit like that. He'll lay down and I'll be doing squishy paw. And he'll just lay there and derp out and then just lay there. You have to bribe him first, though. He won't pay any attention to you unless you give him a treat. So I give him a few fishy treats from Japan, by the way. I need to get another load from JD Spare, I believe, actually, because I'm getting low on the kitty treats. I suppose I could carve up the octopus tentacles. I don't know how he'd react to them. But you give him his fishy treats, he'll sack out, he'll fall over to the side, cat.exe has stopped working, and then you can, do the squishy pettings. Yeah, it's basically, pet owners will understand. Copium, hey, some dogs are cool with cats. Cool with Cats, very good song, by the way. What band did that? I'm going to look that up literally right now. What was that band? Oh, it was Squeeze. Yeah. They were the ones that did that really, really emo song there. What was the name of it? I don't even care. I didn't like the song. Not a fan of the band. But that particular song was good. Pre-59 Cubit. Apparently cheetahs make awesome pets. Yeah, until you lose a thumb. Haha. That would be great. Just get a pit bull, and the end result will be the same. Oh, the food out there smells goddamn amazing. The turkey and the stuffing and everything else is cooking at the moment. I've still got to make deviled eggs. I'll have to go offline here in not too long. Probably tomorrow I won't live stream. I'm presumptively going to be in a food coma because I'm going to be eating all day. I'm just going to gorge myself. I'm allowed to have one day off, like maybe 4 or 5 days a year. Normally, people get 2 weeks off paid vacation. I do not get that. Copium poppies. Pits are awesome. Yeah, there was some black dude, some really ghetto-ass black dude, with a pit bull that was outside of the store once, and I was like, oh, what a cute pupper. And then I petted it, and it was all like, drooling all over itself and doing the cute thing. And I think he thought it funny. I am not afraid of pit bulls. Snakes bleed red. Yeah, I love dogs, but Styx hates them. No, I actually love dogs. Same as I like cats. It's just I prefer cats over dogs. If I was going to get a dog, I would get a black lab. Because black labs are perfect. They look cool, they're the right size, they're athletic, but they're not going to beg you constantly to go outside, and they're capable of defending, but they're also not like hyper aggressive or anything. Black Lab is my dog of choice. Just saying. No, snakes bleed red. No, I would love to have a Black Lab. Then I'll sick it on whatever dog you have, and it'll rip it apart, and I'll chuckle. I'm just joking. Wishbone. I remember that show. Unfortunately, that dog died. Copium. They're not menacing to burglars, though. A black lab probably would be, yes, actually. At the very least, it'll distract them long enough for me to blow their head off or something like that. But black labs are really, really great because they're highly intelligent. So they're easily trained, they're capable of defense, but they're not hyper aggressive, very easily trained. They can be athletic, but also at the same time, they like to sack out too. So, yeah. CP Simple. You'd be surprised about the things that you can buy when you're under a red flag law. Like flamethrowers or crossbows, things of that nature. Actually, you could probably process a crossbow and make it rotary in nature. It's probably possible. With a propellant, that would be legal. You could simply have a cylindrical crossbow. It'd be a little bit like in Von Helsing, actually. This could actually be created. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll make one. Cam 2425IA. Most have hip issues after around 8 years old. Yeah, that is one problem with certain breeds of dogs, which is they get bone issues. And that's sad, by the way, because you don't want your best friend to suffer or anything like that. But that's why we've got doggy dose, I suppose. Anyways, I'm going to go offline in a moment here because Lunar Eclipse Reborn. Styx, name of the general that tried to start World War III with the Russians during airport standoff was Wesley Clark. Yes, you are right. He was NATO commander during Kosovo. Yep, he almost started World War III. He said, hey, Russians have taken over an airfield. We're contesting it. Go into the airfield. Lower commander said, that sounds like a terrible idea. that sounds like we're all going to get shot and probably everyone else will get nuked. And so they decided not to do so. That was a good decision, by the way. By the way, please send no more super chats or rumble rants. Cololds, Mad Bubby, spirit animal of the channel. Yeah, Bobby Bobbinson. We'll get to one of his chats, just for edification. Styx, are you ready to stuff that turkey's ass tighter than a nun's asshole? Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh, the turkey, the stuffing that's been cooked inside of the turkey is 1,000 times better than stuffing that's been just cooked in a pot or something like that. We will have both. I'll be eating that later. Just saying. Anyways, I will be going offline. I'm going to do a little bit of docketing, although I don't really have a lot of it to do. I'm looking at the number of tabs. I'm like, shit. Oh, Kilowatt. Don't tell me what to do. Take my chat. Thank you, my friend. You have sponsored several deviled eggs. Which, trust me, I make very, very well. In fact, I'm going to make them in a few minutes, because, yeah, it's 1:08, so I should probably get to the food. And then I will get to some editing and stuff like that. So, take care, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. I will be eating later. I know most of you will be eating in a couple of days, but it's all good. When you're having Thanksgiving, you can also have Styx Hexenhammer at your table. That would be hysterical. That's about all. Peace out.